Hello, welcome to the Yep Yeah Yes podcast. Today we're going to be diving into the discussion about political correctness and hypocrisy. Not that we've ever been hypocrites, but how are you, Marissa?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
How's your cough?
It's there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Anyway, political correctness and hypocrisy.
Dun, dun.
It's funny because a lot of discussion has, over the last few years, I feel like a lot of people feel like they can't say what they want to say for fear that people are going to shun them or think one way or another, excuse me, about them. I like Wendy's, she's always like, that's kitchen table talk. You know, so it's like you can say it in front of your close friends and family, but you can't say the same thing in public. What do you think about that?
Well, I think people use that phrase to disguise being nasty. So, like, if somebody's nasty, oh, they're just not politically correct. Or if somebody is trying to... If you ask someone an opinion and they kind of don't want to give it and they kind of go around it, oh, that's so PC. So there's, like, a lot of things that I feel when it comes to that sort of, that phrase, this topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where we've had conversations and I use language that I would never use outside of our conversations because I don't, like, I'm too, I don't know if the word is weak, but I just don't have time to be arguing with people about me not being able to say whatever word.
How you said something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was just all in a joke. But then, sometimes jokes can actually lead to an underlying thought process. And you can leak it out. Excuse me. You can leak it out without even realizing it. It's like a sometimes the words you use are the underlying, I don't know what the word is, but it's like...
So funny. Okay, I think I have an example of what you're trying to say, or what you are saying. I apologize. So, I had to speak to someone about a name, how a name was written. And there was no what's the word I'm looking for? There was no rule. There was nothing in writing. There was no policy. It was arbitrary. I felt I wanted something written one way. They decided it should be written another. So when I'm speaking to the person that they claim was in charge or who I had to speak to about this, her answer to me showed me exactly how she felt. She said, well, you can't just do whatever you want, and you know why, right? And I said, no, I don't, because you don't have any policy. I can't read anything. She goes, it's because of the gays. The gays. You know the gays, how they just kind of give any kind of name that they kind of want? It's the gays. And I just couldn't, yeah, I know. And I was like, wow, there is a lot of answers you're giving me right now to questions I didn't even ask. So it's like, was she trying to be politically correct? No. But the way she articulated her thought process really spoke to how she felt and who she is as a person.
Right, without even, sometimes a lot of things are like subconscious. You don't even realize that you have that kind of thought process.
Have you caught yourself doing that, where you didn't even realize your own thought process?
No, but I have, like, for example, I think it was last week's show, or the week before, I don't even remember, but we were talking about the Kardashians, as usual.
Oh, sorry.
And we were talking about all of them, they all got work, and I was like, Bruce did too. And then, Caitlyn. Bruce, like, it was like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, you know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. But it's like, now you have to be, if I call him Bruce, oh, you ain't right. So now I gotta be like Caitlyn.
Right.
Because it's the politically correct thing to do, because he refers to himself as a female, I need to refer to him as a female. Even though I've known him my whole life as Bruce. Even though the girls on the show call him Bruce.
They still call him Bruce?
Well, they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
If they were doing it in the beginning, and I don't have a relationship with him, and everyone, he comes into my realm of thinking rarely. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And not just because of who he is. It's just like, I just don't, he's not on my radar. She's not on my radar. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where, like, if you say it in the wrong company, they're like, oh, you're not accepting of him, of who his transition is. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So it's like everything, when I think of political correctness, I think it's about, not about, but I think a lot of people take it a little bit too far. Because everybody doesn't have like an ill intention when they say things. Sometimes it's just like you're not thinking. You know what I mean? But does that mean, like for me referring to him as Bruce, does that mean that I don't respect his transition, or that, he's now Caitlyn? No, it's just I'm used to the shit. I'm used to him being Bruce. And so I keep saying Bruce. But it's like, and that's who I see. You know what I mean? But when I see Caitlyn, then I refer to Caitlyn as Caitlyn, but I can't. It's like two different people.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And he said you can still call me Bruce.
Oh, he said that.
He said it on the show.
I mean? Sorry.
See?
No, I'm just trying to. Yeah, but it's the self-identity. She identifies as a female now, so I definitely want to honor that. But it's
I know,
also
but
like,
it's not like you're doing
there's
it.
no ill intention. Yeah.
And that's how I felt like I was coming across on the show the other day, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just that I know this person as this person. It's just like if somebody, anything that somebody changes in their life.
That's like, when you meet someone, this is completely not the same thing.
See, now
No, I'm just prefacing it because it's like, when you meet, someone their whole life and then they get married and they ask you to call them Mr. or Mrs. such and such. And you're like, kind of not really.
But that's what they want.
But that's what they want. Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time with that just because I'm absent-minded.
But it's like you get judged nowadays where you didn't back in the day. You get judged on every little thing.
Yeah.
Like you can't say any. Now it's like if you use the N-word, oh my God, you need to be locked up. You know what I mean? Whereas it seems like it's like this weird thing where now people are saying, and when I would used to go to like Jay-Z concerts back in like 10 years ago. You'd see the whole crowd when he did Jigga My Nigga.
Oh,
everybody would sing it. Now people are looking to this, better not say it. It's like,
don't finish that sentence.
But he has no problem with you saying it. He has no problem. He does not have a problem with you doing his singing his lyrics. He said that.
Okay.
So it's like, but then I know, like, if I see somebody use that word in my presence, I'm like, really? You're real bold enough to use that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I say it around my friends and family, it's like, oh.
It's just a word.
It's just a word.
Oh,
so it's like, where do you go with this? Like, every little thing can be judged by the next person. You see somebody with a certain style, a girl wearing a short dress. Oh, she looks like a whore.
Oh.
Now you like, now a girl, now you know.
Now she can't.
Now you're judging her because of the way she dressed. Now her profession is, you know what I mean? You can't say anything. Now you're just like, hey, and then keep it moving.
Keep your mouth and your opinions.
You can't
yourself.
be like I think about like women who have who have had children, or who just might be a little bit overweight, and somebody's like, congratulations, and they don't have a kid, or they lost the weight.
Yeah,
it's like now you can't even like compliment.
Just let me be fat. That's happened to me at Starbucks.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to bring it. See, now I'm messing up.
No, but it's not. It wasn't that. It was just I just felt like, damn, this bitch called me fat. But whatever, I'm okay. I haven't thought about it for the last 6 years. I don't. Yeah. No, but see, that's the thing. That's what's so hard about, like, so being politically correct, is that only in public, or do you have to be that way in private? It's a very slippery slope. You want to honor people's desires and be respectful, but at the same time, if that's how you communicate, do you chalk it up to that?
Well, I think it starts in the privacy of your home.
Political correctness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything. But for the sake of this discussion, political correctness starts at home. So if in your private moments, in your private conversations, you speak about others with respect and understanding of differences, then it's easy to translate that into the public.
Yeah.
It's not as easy if, everybody around the table is calling people different names, and then you, like, for example, there's particular people in my family, they make fun of a particular race. in a certain way.
Uh-oh.
And every time I always tell, like, it makes me uncomfortable because I'm always like, don't say that. That's not right.
Yeah.
And then we go out in public, and it's proven to, what they said to me is proven to me.
Oh,
It's always
no, when stereotypes
when stereotypes become reality.
Oh,
But
that
you
is
can't
the worst.
you can't generalize every race that way. But
No, you can't.
it does not help my cause when I'm like be out there and they're like, see what I'm saying? And then if I said exactly what it was, then everybody would know what I was talking about because it's a big stereotype.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But the minute that is noticed by all of us, they make a point.
It's so funny that you're bringing this up because I had this struggle with myself the other day because I noticed, so my kids play with other kids and I noticed different subcultures.
I hope they play with other kids.
Yeah, I mean like different subcultures of America refer to a group of kids or just a kid that they're not very familiar with in a certain way. And I noticed it the other day because it's not something that I was familiar with. So I here we go, take the political correctness hat off. So I'm Puerto Rican, and when you have Hispanic people refer to a bunch of kids, so if it was like a bunch of little boys, or you're talking to a little boy, say, hey papi, what's going on? How you doing? Hey papa, or oh mamita, sweetheart, something like that. And then I notice that most of the Caucasian people that I've encountered, they call kids buddy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they're like, hey buddy, hey buddy.
I don't get that.
Buddy.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say it annoys me, but it does.
I don't know if it annoys. I'm indifferent to it. It's just something that I noticed, and it was just like, oh, because so I have nicknames for all my kids, and sometimes I'll slip up and call another kid, like that general nickname. And my daughter was like, no, we need to come up with something else because you're not calling them the same thing you call me. So I said, okay. So she's like, you can call other kids pork chop. So I was like, okay, I like that. I call them pork chop now. But then I found myself the other day because I hear buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I caught myself using that word, and I was like, hold on a second. That's not me. That's not who I am. I don't call kids buddy. So I'm sticking with pork chop.
Why can't you just call them by their name?
Because I don't know them individually. Like if I'm in a class setting.
Just general.
Like 26 kids, and I'm trying to help with a craft. No, I'm trying to help with a craft, and they're speaking to me, and they call me I hate when kids call me by my name. It really, really irks me. We're not friends. So it just really irks me. And I just haven't had a moment to learn all of their names. So I just say, hey pork chop. Oh, can I help you with that?
Somebody's gonna come around like a vegan, and be like,
pork chop.
Pork chops came from pigs and slaughtered pigs. Then you're gonna be like,
well,
bacon.
Pork is
turkey
delicious.
bacon.
Pork is delicious.
But I'm saying it.
So should I call everybody tofu?
No, then they'd be like, oh, putting your
vegan lifestyle.
Your vegan lifestyle on me.
So what do? Stick with buddy?
No.
Hey buddy.
You learn their name.
Buddy.
But learn it the right way though.
Hey bud.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Hey buddy.
I don't know what black people call. It's like, hey yo.
I think I've noticed like. So this is one of the things that oh my God, this is a stereotype. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to finish my sentence.
You already started. But this is a no.
No, okay.
No hate zone.
No hate zone. So, okay, like let's say if I'm at the park and I'm so lucky to live in a very diverse community. So when I go to the park, I'll notice like other parents, like Caucasian parents talk to other kids, which I'm not very comfortable with, but they'll be like, oh, hey buddy, that's really great job. And I'm off to the sidelines like, mind your business. Spanish people kind of only interact with other kids when if there's like a conflict or if they're speaking to their child, like they've been playing for a little bit. But I noticed like other minorities don't
really. When you say
other
minorities, what are the?
So like I'll say Asian parents I've noticed kind of speak to their children and don't really delve outside of their kids. And then I'll notice like maybe black families, they'll speak to the kids that they're with and don't venture out from that. And I find myself kind of doing the same thing where like obviously I talk to my kids, and if we've met up with a friend there, I'll talk to their friends, but I don't really speak to other kids, and I don't not that I don't want to help other kids in a park. I'm not going to help a kid, like lift up a kid to reach a bar, But I'll notice some people do that, and they'll be like, oh, hey, buddy, I'll help you. It's like, no, keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
Let's not do that. We don't do that. But there's like a certain comfort level speaking to other kids I've noticed with different, subcultures or ethnic backgrounds.
Why didn't you want to bring that up? What's so bad about that?
Because it's a generalization. There's got to be some Puerto Rican that's listening to us like, I help other kids. I call them buddy. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah. Everything is about the general. I mean, we all, we're all, even though we might have a lot of similarities in different ways. I mean, you can't say every single person in that race, but when the overwhelming consensus in that community or whatever seems to be the same way, you can't help it.
Yeah.
It's just the American way.
Yeah, well, yeah,
that's generalizing American.
That's generalizing American. But America's such like a melting pot, a mosaic, so to speak, because we all don't melt together. But but like I'll use the park for example, because kids, genuinely, little kids, unless you teach them to hate something else or someone else just on their looks, they don't do that. All kids play with each other. That's like, you put your things on kids. So it's really nice to see, and my kids are on the younger side. So it's nice to see that whole, like, they could care less of, if you're nice to them, they're nice to you. That's it. That's just how kids are. Most kids. Some kids, there could be a developmental issue and they kind of don't, haven't conditioned themselves to think or act differently. Or maybe they just don't know. That's a whole nother topic and a diatribe. I know. Hurry up. Anyway, but I'll notice that, like, and then I noticed too, like, dads at the park. That's like a whole nother, like, I don't know what's wrong with them. Dads don't really, why am I doing this right now? I'm going off on a whole topic.
We're not talk about.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. Sorry, that's a different show. We'll talk about this later.
I'm like, you're going to be like, and then when the grandmother comes, the mother-in-law comes. And
then my Lord, that's the worst.
But anyway, what I was going to say something too about, I don't remember. But I think at the end of the day, though, when it comes to just people in general, we all have a preconceived idea about other people. And we may not always be comfortable sharing those ideas. But it's even within our own subcultures. Yeah. Like, I know, like, people in my family that are sensitive to being called ghetto. You know what I mean? Don't call me ghetto.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like...
It's a negative term.
Right.
Yeah, you're calling
you don't want
negative.
anybody outside of your race or your culture calling you ghetto, and you don't want people inside of your culture calling you ghetto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And which makes me think about the whole Kanye thing from the other day with his I don't want to call it a rant because a rant to me is like you're like jumping and you're going crazy. I mean, I don't know. People can call it a rant all they want. People call rant. They give the title rant to every single thing whenever somebody talks for an extended period of time.
When you don't agree with their string of words.
Right.
Yeah.
But for like for him to be like, it seems to me that racism was a choice. I don't remember what his exact words were.
Slavery was an option.
That's what I'm saying. Slavery was an option. I don't know why I said racism was a choice. But I feel like racism is a choice.
It is a choice, yeah.
But it's a choice based on ignorance.
Yeah.
Because we all know right from wrong. We all know to treat people one way or the other.
But I have a question for you. So going to Kanye's diatribe, he has a big voice, and we're talking about it, and other outlets have spoken about it. But he also had an admission to medication. Do we kind of look at him with a little bit of a screw face or rose-tinted glasses because there's clearly a mental health issue here?
No.
No?
I don't. I mean, people might. But, I mean, he just... Like, people tend to use the mental health as an excuse, and that's a disrespect to people that actually have mental health issues.
But you don't think he does?
I think that he's on medication. But even prior to him to being on medication, he was acting this way.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we tend to, like, even when they have people that shoot up schools and stuff, like, oh, it's mental health. There's a lot of people that have mental health issues that ain't shooting up schools.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have mental health issues that aren't saying slavery was a choice. You know what I mean? So he can do, like Vivica said, take that where, back there. Okay.
That's a great phrase. That's such a great phrase.
But I don't know. I just think that...
Now, when you have political correctness, just how does that tie into friendship? So, because I want to talk about Kathy Griffin and Anderson Cooper.
Okay, so talk about it.
So, Kathy Griffin she's very, very hurt. So, she took a picture. Everyone already knows about this. Took a picture, and she got let go from, her partnership. The ball drop thing with Anderson Cooper. Now, her and Anderson had an established friendship. And he came out and said he felt it was disgusting and distasteful. And she felt like he should have gone to bat for her. Or do you think in that point he was just being politically correct to save himself and his career? Or should have the golden rule of silence is golden?
I think when it comes to this issue, it's tricky because, number one, this goes back to a conversation we had a few weeks ago about people that they call everybody their friend.
Oh,
multiple people. Everybody can't be your friend.
No.
It's your celebrity friend. Was he really your friend?
Well, she's on her show and on her social media and on her comic tours. She has made references to being in his house without him being there. That she would stay there, they've gone on vacations together.
I just feel like sometimes people are more vested in relationships than the other person. He might do that with other people.
Yeah.
He might be the type of person yeah, go ahead, stay. I don't care.
Yeah.
He seems to have grown up with privilege, where it's not to the extent where he had so much that none of it mattered.
Oh.
And so staying at the house, I don't give,
And not realizing that a home is very that's
to the
that's
next
valuable.
person, it might be
very
wow,
valuable.
they let me stay in their home,
and
where
they're
he's
not here.
This is one of 3 homes. I don't care.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you never know how he viewed the relationship.
The friendship, yeah.
But in terms of how, say they were friends, I think it's more of him being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because you can't sit there and be like, that's my friend. Point on the side note, he's never come out and said that was my friend. I've never heard him ever say, my friend Kathy Griffin.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Working together does not make you friends.
Mm-hmm.
He might have looked at her as a colleague. I'm sure we've been in a situation where we work with people and be like, oh yeah, just come to the house. Yeah, you can, if we're going to go out, you can stay over.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
we're not, yeah.
We're colleagues. We have a relationship in that way. But in true friendship where...
I didn't think of that.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think that if he did give that impression to her, which obviously based on her outburst and interviews and things like that, she felt that they were friends. But if he did give that, then I think he's a hypocrite. Because how can you call yourself a friend and make public statements like that about her without having a conversation with her?
Yeah, you praise in public, you scorn in private.
Right.
You
didn't have to say nothing.
Shut up.
You didn't have to say anything.
No. If you felt it was distasteful,
have
you
a
pick
conversation.
Up the phone.
Right.
Show up at her door.
He could have been like, I had a conversation with Kathy and she's extremely, regrets what she did and, I'm going to have her on the show. You have a TV show.
An outlet, yeah.
You could have just, if that's really your friend, you could have been like, come on the show, let's talk about it, But that's not what happened.
No.
Everybody shunned her and her friends, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's choose wisely.
Yeah, choose wisely. That's so crazy because it's funny because I'm not quick to call someone a friend. I don't know why I'm like this. I don't. But
the problem too with that though with you is that you don't recognize when somebody is actually your friend. I'm constantly telling you they're your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Friends come in different shapes and forms.
Yeah.
There's some friends that you do certain things with. There's some friends that you don't do certain things with. But
I think that's so funny to me because I have our last conversation in my head no, that's your friend. I'm like, not really. We only do this together, and you're like, that's your friend though. Oh yeah, maybe you're right. Oh.
There's a certain level. It's but what kind of friend? I have friends that it's if it's 4:00 in the morning, I'm not gonna call them.
Yeah.
Because they're not that kind of friend.
Yeah.
But I have friends that I can. If I start saying what I could do, they're gonna know who it. So I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna delve into it.
We'll be politically correct.
Yeah, not get a tweet in the middle of the night. I'm awake. Are you?
Oh my goodness.
but I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it's about. But when it comes to Anderson and Kathy, it's about did they establish that friendship in terms of what he or she means to each other.
So here's my next question. So there's political correctness. Like, people know who you are. Your friends, your family. They know who, not all family, not all friends, obviously. They know who you are. They know your heart. They know your intentions. Do you still have to be politically correct?
You would know when you're around them.
Yeah.
You say something, and the minute you're like, you're like, okay, so I can't talk. Like, kitchen table talk is not allowed over here.
It's not for you.
So, I don't know. And, that makes me think about, the whole, the White House Correspondents' Dinner with Michelle Wolf. And people are on her case because she said, even though the joke about Sarah Sanders, Huckabee Sanders, I don't think it had anything to do with her appearance or looks. If you really look at the joke, she basically was saying she uses the lies to make, what is it around her eyes? Something like the smoky eye. Give her a smoky eye with the lies. She didn't say, she's overweight or anything, you know what I mean?
But it's so funny because this White House Correspondents' Dinner, they've had jokes like this.
Ridiculous
jokes. And they have spoken about weight. They have spoken about stature and size and appearance, physical appearance.
But we're in a world now where political correctness is at an all-time high, where you can't even.
But I also feel because it was two women.
That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, okay.
Where a woman can't even criticize or make a joke about another woman.
I didn't see it as a criticism either. I keep interrupting you. I apologize. But I didn't see that as a criticism. It was a joke. She was just making an observation. She was trying to say, like, she used this joke for smoky eye. Like, that. How is that a criticism? She didn't say her smoky eye looks gross.
And that's the problem. That's the problem when people who take themselves so serious see something that's a joke as a critique. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I think if she had said that about Sean Spicer, it would have just been like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people have been saying things like so harsh about the current White House administration on so many levels. I've seen GIFs that are like comparing, each member to a different cartoon character and making all kinds of crazy jokes. But I think people they're sensitive. You can't say nothing no more. I mean, and this, to me, like, it's easy to be like, oh, it all started with this, that, and the other. But it's like, you can go back. Everything is cyclical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think this current wave of sensitivity is at an all new high. Like, you can't say nothing without somebody, like, ready to be like, what do you mean? Because I believe that there's so much has been made about every little thing that people read into it. You know what I mean? Like, before, stuff would brush up off your shoulders. Like, I remember your aunt gave me some pajamas, okay? Mm-hmm. They had monkeys on them. And I'm like, what the hell is she trying to say? Now, if she gave me them pajamas today, I'd be like, she's racist. I don't know if I would say that, but you know what I'm saying? That's the difference in the level of what people think. Meanwhile, she's not even thinking that.
No,
you know what I mean?
Cute pajamas with a cute little monkey.
And the crazy thing about it is, my mother saw them too. She's like, who gave you those? And I told her, and she's like, really? Then my mother was a little like,
yeah.
But I'm like, no, she doesn't. But you have to explain that.
Yeah.
So if it was done today, it's like people would automatically assume it came from a negative place. That's how heightened this political correctness is these days.
But I also feel like as much political correctness and sensitivity as we have, I also feel in the same regard, and this is why hypocrisy is such a paramount word right now with what I want to say, because as much political correctness and sensitivity there is a brush of acceptance to say very, very mean and nasty things.
Yeah.
And then when it's you to them, it's just a joke. But when it's them to you, you're criticizing. You're not this. You're not that. It's disgusting.
The worst response and the most dismissive response I always get whenever someone says something that I don't agree with.
Oh, I know. Oh.
What?
You can't take a joke?
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
But what way did you mean it? Because it sounded real fucked up to me. What way? Go ahead and break it down for me. Which way did you mean it?
I love when someone's like, not to sound like a racist, but...
Really? Really?
Usually.
Let's not finish that sentence then. Okay.
Usually.
Like, back it up, rewind, go back to where you came from. That's another.
And take that where?
Back there.
Or when somebody says like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Then shut up.
Don't take this the wrong way.
I will. Just be quiet.
Just come on and say it.
Don't hold this against me, okay? I am going to. Be quiet.
It's crazy. But that is true. It's like people always preface something.
So, you know what's so funny? So this is so funny. When you say this, so we used to work with the same people. And one of them happened to be this ethnic background. I'll get to it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I happen to be very, very short. So they were making a joke yet again. And I go, oh, I know, you can't see me. And he was like, you're racist. That's an Asian joke. You're racist. And I was like, not really. It's a short joke.
What the hell?
We were at a bar.
What does that have to do with race?
Because he was Asian. He thought I was saying that because his eyes are closed. That I was making a racist joke. And I was like, no, I know what you were going to finish saying. You were going to say a short joke again. He's like, no, you're racist. And our branch manager happened to be there. And he's like, oh, I'm trying to save you. I was like, there's nothing to save. You don't have to say anything or defend me. It wasn't a racist joke. It was a height joke like he always does. And then it was like everyone got really quiet. Because it was one of those like, we don't know which way to go. Either it's a short joke yet again, or is it a racist joke? Either way, I'm just gonna be quiet. Everybody got real quiet.
But it makes me wonder, like when people leave and they go about their business with other people that quote unquote look like. Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. You're talking about your kids. Mm-hmm. But really quick, when you go up and be around the people, your friends, your family, the people mm-hmm. closest to you, do you then what do you say about that moment? Or does it not even come up? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it makes you wonder. But I was thinking about your kids, because you were talking about earlier about when they were out with their friends and they don't see things like that.
Yeah.
At what point do they start to be with people that look like them?
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, I remember you telling me one time you was picking up your daughter from playing with her friends, and they were all sitting on the curb, and they all looked exactly alike.
Exactly alike.
And I was like, okay. Either you're not doing a good job of assimilating them into a diverse mm-hmm. group of friendships, or they're making a concerted effort to seek out people that look like them.
I don't know.
But it was like, the idea of that was like, damn. But it's like, isn't that like every culture? Like
I don't know.
But it's like, at what age, and if it doesn't happen, is that kudos to the parent for keeping them around all types of people their entire life, so they have no choice but to seek out like-minded and not attracted to people that physically look like they do.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's funny that you say that because, well, two of those girls happen to be twins, so they go and look alike. And then, but so I mean, 50% look exactly alike.
Right, they get a pass.
But it's funny because it's like, I think it's one of those, like, it's the parents and what the parents were comfortable with, because those two moms were comfortable to reach out to me and ask me to, and it wasn't like I didn't.
To you about that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like, listen, my kids are little. I'm just drop them off nowhere. Like I hang out with her. Like it's a play date. I'm staying too. Like I'm playing too. So it wasn't, I think it's what they were comfortable with, the parents. I think it's what the moms were comfortable with in their circle.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things where she's had other play dates that happen to be, that look different. And again, I hang out and I say to them, I come too. Or, her brothers come too. And nobody cared, like they didn't care. And the ones that did, then we just didn't show up. So,
right.
But yeah, it's a slippery slope.
But it's like, so you said they reached out to you.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, are they reaching out to other people too?
I don't think so.
And that's where it's like, to me, when I'm taking it back to the political correctness thing, where it can have a real effect on how you interact with other people. Because you have these ideas mm-hmm. about others.
Yeah.
Whether it's based on race, gender, disability, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Poverty, the income level, whatever socioeconomic background.
We're pulling out our poli-sci classes
exactly.
over here.
Whatever, based on whatever it is, do you assimilate to those types of people based on what you consider to be important factors? I always have utmost level of respect for people that hang out with people that are not like them.
Yeah.
I saw the preview for this new movie, Book Club. Do you see that preview?
No.
It's older women. It's
Yes.
not Murphy Brown, Candice Bergen
and Jane Fonda.
Right. And I'm like, really? They don't have no black friends? But no, they don't.
They don't.
Like, there's a lot of people that don't have black friends that don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Jane Fonda, I have a screw face to Jane Fonda, but I don't want to get into it, but I just want to put that out there because I don't want to just say her name and then not let everybody know I have a bit of a screw face for her.
My problem with her when it comes to this movie, though, is because she's always put on this air of enlightenment where she's done so much work for...
That's why I have such a screw face.
Well, then finish it.
No. Go ahead.
No, I want you to... You said you
I can't because it's going to be a whole 45-minute show on how I feel like, you know, you're against the Vietnam War and you're out there picketing, but did you help anybody? What'd you do? You just squatted in a rice field, took a picture, and then went back to Hollywood?
Yeah, it's a different conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we're not going to get into that. Oh my God.
But I'll go back to my daughter. And funny, I don't know why boys don't have play dates like girls. Or maybe that's just in my realm. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so she has other friends that their parents have reached out to me and I've reached out to them. It's always them reaching out to me. I need to do better with that. Anyway, so where I've met them at a park and, you know, they've all played and stuff. But that one instance where all these girls, they really do look alike. And funny enough, they even dress alike too. They've been friends for quite a long time that I actually let my daughter, where I'm backyard neighbors to one of these, and I let her go into that house and play. And it's just, I've just known them for quite some time, and whenever I see them, it's a friendship. And I watch one of them, I watch their kids for a little bit during the week, and I just...
It's okay. Yeah. You sound like you're defending. Like,
No, I'm not defending. No, I'm not defending, but I'm also saying that it's a sort of a where her growth of friendship, it's everywhere. And I noticed that some parents reach out and some don't. Because we are in a diverse neighborhood. And some parents reach out and some don't, but some only reach out for the parties. Like, when a group of friends has a party, then you see them all at the party. Or if, like, there's something happening at the school, their school does a lot of events. So we'll text each other to meet up at a time and a place or whatever.
What do you consider diverse?
Diverse? There's a little bit of everything there.
Okay.
Like, when I go to my kids, there's 3 separate classrooms that I go to. I see Hispanic, I see Black, I see Indian, I see Chinese, or I don't know if they're Chinese. I shouldn't say that. Asian.
That's the political correctness.
Because I don't know if they're Chinese.
And that's the whole point of how we're talking over the conversation. You can't even say because you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
But that's like one of those things. Like you're gonna call a Costa Rican Nicaraguan.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You can say South American.
Yeah. Well, you don't know if they're South American. You could just say.
Well, no. You said if they're Costa Rican, you know they're from.
No. I mean, like, if you don't know where they're from, like, you
can't.
They
could be from Dominican Republic.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
well, you'd be like they're Hispanic.
Latino, Hispanic.
Then I remember asking you, like, do I say Hispanic or Latin?
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know. I'm like, you're my token. You're like, you're supposed to know.
I don't know. And I find myself doing the same thing. Like, I'll say Hispanic and sometimes I'll say Latino.
Well, like Trump, he did a rally and he was like, are there any Hispanics in the crowd? You know, they all booed.
Build the wall.
Build the wall. And I was telling you, I was like, can you imagine now if Puerto Rico was not a U.S. territory? It's just weird. But anyway, but it's like, I just don't know, like, what's the right term to use? And then, meanwhile, people in Spain, like, I ain't down with none of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the real Spanish people.
Yeah. I don't
know. But, like, what are we supposed to say? You know what I mean? And then, like, I think I come into it with black people, and they're like, I'm not black, I'm Jamaican. Or I am Haitian. It's like, but you get pulled over, you're black, okay?
It's funny, too, because sometimes, like, people say African American, and sometimes, I use the word black, because not everybody's African. I don't know. Right. I just don't know. I don't know, but I use the word black. That's what I'm comfortable with. You're African,
based on your DNA.
I'm based on my DNA. I'm African American. Exactly. I'm African American.
But you can't go out telling people you're African American.
Or homegirl of Teresa Hines Carey.
Exactly.
She's African American.
Charlize Theron.
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 She's African American. Oh, she's African American. Oh no, did she get her citizenship?
I don't know. Who cares? Why do we
who
go
cares?
into?
I don't know. We're talking about it.
But it's back to this whole thing though. The political correctness and hypocrisy. It's very interesting because like we've been going through this whole thing, making jokes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like you never really know what to say. Like you just want to just be quiet. Yeah. I remember I was out with my boss and she said something. I don't even remember what the hell she said, but I gave her the look, and I was I didn't want to be like, bitch, you better fix what you just said.
Ooh.
But she felt comfortable enough around me to make the slur that she would never say. It was about Spanish, Hispanic, whatever.
I remember. Go ahead.
And I remember her saying it, and I know she felt comfortable around me because I'm black, but she don't know I could be Dominican.
Yeah.
Like you don't know people.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, this country is a mosaic, a melting pot. You don't by looking at somebody, you cannot tell anymore. No. So why not just make a concerted effort to not say effed up stuff? You know what I mean? If you know it ain't right, just don't say it.
It's so funny because I struggle within myself. This is actually not a struggle. I don't know why I worded it that way. My apologies. But I make a concerted effort. Who I am in private is who I am in public. You get what you get. I'm not. There's
things you would not say in public though.
Yeah, but it's a handful as opposed to
who your actual being is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It would probably be 3 things that I would never say in public.
Right.
But
go ahead and say them real quick. It's just me and you right here.
You get who you get. You know.
Go ahead, say it. You know you're gonna say it. Ain't nobody listening. It's only 3 people. They ain't gonna say nothing.
Hola, gato. Hey, Mama Deb. How's your morning due? So that's what I and it goes back to what we always say. I want you to be the best version of yourself. Who you are in private is exactly who you are in public.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
Oh, you're talking about me.
No, everybody.
No, I was like,
you want to keep public.
Compliments on me.
No, but you very much are. You very much are. Who you are in public is who you are in private.
Not always.
But that goes back to there's probably 4 things, 2 things that you would say.
I think a lot of people would think like they didn't know that about me.
But it's not. It wouldn't be a shock. That right. You know what I mean? It's you might articulate something a certain way for dramatic emphasis in private.
Right.
But who you are in public and who you are in private are the same.
That's good to know. I believe that. I believe that about you. And I think everybody's like that, like you were saying.
Not really.
I do believe, if you sit back and you listen to...
I have heard my neighbors. I went to a holiday party up in here. It was a Christmas party. I don't know why I'm saying holiday. It was a Christmas party. And they were talking about all the Puerto Ricans moving in and how disgusting they are.
And they're doing that in public.
And they're doing it in front of me. And once I told them I'm Puerto Rican, they're like, oh, but you're not one of those.
But that's what I'm saying.
But it's because they were not in public. They were in private. It was a small amount of our neighbors that they all look alike. They all have the same sort of lineage to a certain country. They were all that was to them was private.
I feel like when I say public, I mean they've obviously found the people that they could speak with that about. It might be a private conversation, but I had to get to that point. I had to get to the point where they could find other people to have that conversation. Yeah. And they thought you was going to be another member of that crew. And so you put them on nah, son.
Nah, son. In fact, you people and your fish smell.
See? Why? You
I know, but when you feel so attacked, you just want to lash out. I'm coming from anger. Hurt people hurt, homie.
That's what they say. I guess I hurt a lot because I be hurting mofos. You don't even know.
Oh, I know.
I've known. It is what it is, It is what it is. You hurt. I think I get it from my mother. Sometimes the way that I use my language.
Precision
because
in language.
I'm not a good fighter. I will fight, though. In my mind, I'm Rocky.
But you're talking about physically?
No, I'm saying I fight well with my words.
Oh, you argue well.
Argue well with my words. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying fight, too, because I'm not good at fist fighting. So when I have an argument with someone, fight with somebody, whatever, I think I'm better when it comes to the words, but in my mind, I think that I'm better physically, but I'm really not. Until I get out there and I'm like...
Listen, I've never been in a fight in my life. I have no idea.
Well, we'll see who we can get to battle.
No, it's all right. I'm not confrontational too.
Yeah, you are not.
I'll just sit. I'll sit in the car and then call you and start with a barrage of insults, but to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just sit there and take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
What a good show.
Funny enough, I went to go get ice cream with my kids the other day, and this lady sort of cut me in line. So the server was like, "Oh, what did you want?" And as I opened my mouth, the lady like next to me, behind me, whatever, she's like, "Oh, I'll take such and such." And I was like, "Excuse me, I was here first." And she's like, "Okay." And the server gave her ice cream, and then apologized to me and asked me what I wanted. And I waited for her to finish, and I went, "Nothing."
You should have been my meal free. How about that?
I should have did that. I did the whole like nothing, and then I went to an ice cream shop across the street.
Meanwhile, the kids were upset because they were like, "Why are we leaving without ice cream?" And then you explained to them we're gonna get ice cream.
Yeah, we're gonna get it right there, and they're like, "Oh, okay," because that lady was rude. I'm like, yes. That's
your way of teaching them how to walk away from confrontation.
Yeah, but I got one of them that's quick with hands, one of them quick with words, and one of them could not care less. Quick to walk away because they don't know what happened.
That's all of that is you. That's all you. That's all
know.
you, baby girl. That's all you.
Oh my goodness. Well.
Anyway, I think this show might be our longest show. It's time to wrap it up.
All right. Well.
Check us out on the gram, the Instagram. Yep, yeah, yes, 18. And where else, Marissa? Twitter. Yep, yeah, yes. On Twitter, at Yep Yeah Yes.
At Yep Yeah Yes.
On Twitter.
At me, boo.
At me. At us. It's a dual account.
No,
us,
but who's gonna check me, boo, from Sheree? At me, boo.
You could say at us, boo.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Whatever.
It just didn't roll off the tongue. I'm sorry.
I just did it. It rolled right off fine. At us, boo.
At us, boo. Well, listen, you're enough.
Thanks. You have a good day, good rest of the weekend, and we'll check you next week.
Tamika and her cough will be back.
Yep. Yep, yeah, yes. Adios.